So, Izzy, can I ask you a question before we get started? When's the last time you read this book?
I just reread it like a couple of minutes ago.
A couple of minutes ago. Amazing. Okay,
Yeah,
so you should be super fresh.
Again.
I will tell you, we are currently working on a dramatic adaptation of this book.
Wow.
And so I know it really well too, but I may know wrong details. So we're going to go. I'm going to go all out, Izzy. You're in 8th grade. I'm not holding back.
Good.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Okay. So I think it's me, right? All right. Yes. All right. Welcome to another edition of Author Fan Face Off. This is how it works. We've got one author, one super fan, and one book, and we see who knows the book better. So I'm Stacey Rattner, and my fabulous co-host is author Steve Sheinkin.
Yeah. Thank you. Hello.
And today I am super, super excited to introduce our author. It is Adam Gidwitz, the Newbery Honor winner. And Adam came to our school. We Skyped with him before he won his honor for Inquisitor's Tale, and that was awesome. And we had an amazing visit. Adam is an amazing storyteller, and our book today is A Tale Dark and Grim. And if you have not read this book, you need to. I gave it to a 4th or 5th grader a long time when it first came out, and she didn't sleep well that night, but that's probably good. You know, that says that it's a good book. So welcome, Adam.
It's scary.
And Adam, your challenger
will introduce
today.
Your challenger.
Yeah, your challenger today is Izzy. You guys may recall meeting a few years ago. I know Adam went to Izzy's school a few years ago. Izzy was in 4th or 5th grade, right? And you were already a big fan of Mr. Gidwitz at that time, right? And so you wanted to challenge him. I mean, you really wanted this. This was the matchup you wanted. You asked. And
careful what you ask for.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we've done a bunch of these, and usually the student has read it more recently than the author. Maybe Adam, the fact that you're adapting it might help you out, because this book is full of rich details, and we're going to take advantage of that in these questions. So I'm going to start with the first two, one for Izzy, then one for Adam, and we'll take it from there. Right? Here we go. All right, Izzy. When Hansel and Gretel's father first becomes king, he's told that he may look in any room in the castle except for this one.
The room with the portrait of the golden lady, I guess, that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The portrait of the golden princess, right. And Adam.
Well done.
After faithful Johannes is turned to stone, what is the only way for the king to bring him back to life?
Oh, well, he has to cut off his children's heads and smear the statue with his blood. Yeah! Now everyone go out and get the book. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, we had to, you got to include stuff like that. Let people know what you're in for right off the bat.
All right, Izzy. When Hansel and Gretel first run away, they soon come to a house made of this.
Candy and cake.
She got it. That's the second part of the answer was the right part, right? Right?
Chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake. You said chocolate cake. You said cake.
Now, were you always a fan of these Grimm fairy tales, or
me?
Adam? Yeah. Like what made you? What motivated you to write about this?
I don't want to hijack this with a long story, but I was not a fan of them until I got asked to speak at my school where I was teaching. I was asked to read stories to 2nd graders, and I just picked up a Grimm book of fairy tales off the shelf, and I was like, "Oh, fairy tales! Those are perfect for little kids." And I brought it in and I read it to the kids, and the story I happened to read to them was a story called Faithful Johannes. And in that story, as Izzy knows, 2 children get their heads cut off by their parents. And before I read it, I was like, can I read this to 2nd graders? Will I get fired? And then I thought, let's find out. So I brought the book and I read it to them. And they got kind of nervous as I was telling the story. So I started to make these jokes and comments as I was telling the story to keep them calm and help them relax. And at the end of the story, I think I did a pretty good job because I looked up and every kid had the same expression on his or her face. Every kid looked exactly like this, like. So I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the story, this one second grade girl came up and she stuck her finger in my face and she said, "You should make that into a book." And so I did. So that's how I wrote the book, because of that story.
And we're all thankful for that little girl. Right.
Except for that fourth grader who had nightmares when you gave him the book.
Right.
Not grateful.
They were.
All right. Adam, how does Gretel open the door of Crystal Mountain?
She cuts off her finger and inserts it into the lock. Here's my question for Izzy. Which finger was it?
The middle finger.
Nice.
So you know that when I wrote the book, I didn't intend it to be that finger. And in edits, I must have put it in and I don't remember it. And some kid asked me once, he was like, "Why did you make it the middle finger?" And I was like, "What? I did not do that." And they were like, "Yeah, you did." And I was like, "Nuh-uh." And then they found it in the book and I was so humiliated. So that is in the book, but it is totally not intentional. But Izzy, you did remember that very well. She should get a bonus point for knowing it was the middle finger.
All right.
Okay. Yep.
All right, Izzy. The talking tree in the Wood of Life asks only one thing of Hansel and Gretel. What is it?
Only take what you need.
Exactly. Exactly.
We found the right man.
Yeah, these details are getting down to small things mentioned once. For Adam, what is the best way to kill a warlock?
To boil him in boiling oil with poisonous snakes.
Correct.
And I remember that detail because I didn't make it up. That's from a real Grimm fairy tale. I can't remember which one it is, 12 Huntsmen or something. And they're like, "That's how you kill a warlock." And I'm like, duh. Of course that's how you kill a warlock. What else would you even consider?
Yeah. Well, this says this is the best way. So
there
may be some others, but if it
no better than the poisonous snakes in the boiling oil.
It's clearly the best.
All right, Izzy. What does Gretel use to mark her path through the wood of darkness?
It was something beads. I don't remember the exact type.
Something beans.
Yeah, a kind of bean.
You accept that, Adam?
I absolutely accept that.
Lentils, but yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Lentils.
Good. Right.
That's definitely a correct answer.
Okay.
Good job, Izzy. She's so confident. Look at her just sitting there. Very okay. Adam, it is said that the devil can have no power over one who has this. 3 of his golden hairs. Also something I did not make up from the story, The Devil and His 3 Golden Hairs by the Brothers Grimm. Good story.
That was the scariest
I like that story.
part I thought of the story of your book.
What? Which part? When
that episode where he goes to the devil's lair.
That's funny. You thought that was the scariest. That's for me like the most fun of the stories.
Oh, it was funny. All of it was darkly funny, but that to me, you felt the courage that it required for him to do that.
Thank you, Izzy. What do you think the scariest part of the book was?
It's when you're describing the corpses on the ground.
Yes, at the battle at the end, right?
Oh, true. Yeah.
Can I tell you this little secret about that part?
Sure.
So I wrote that with all the blood and the corpses, and there's like a hand in a tree, right? And like a dead woman. Yeah, so really gross. And my editor went through, we have something called line edits. So first she gives me big time edits, and then she gives me line edits just on the sentence level. And then after that is copy edits, where a different editor, a copy editor, just changes periods and commas and punctuation and spelling and stuff. So in the line edits, my editor goes through and is like, "Please take this out, take this out. This is too much. It's not really appropriate to this book. It's not fairy tale gore. It's just gross." I was like, "You're probably right." And then I took them all out. And then reading back through copy edits, I wrote them all back in pencil because I knew she was not going to read the book again after copy edits. And they all went back into the book. And I only told her after the book was published. And she said, "Well, we didn't get in any trouble, so I guess it's okay."
That's a good trick.
That's the first time. That's the first time.
Steve's writing it down.
Yeah. Okay.
That was. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
My turn, I think, for Izzy, right? All right. When Hansel and Gretel return to the kingdom of Grimm, they bring 2 carts. What are the carts filled with?
golden apples and wine.
Right.
Right.
That's really important to that part of the story. And then continuing with that part of the story, Adam, the 2 carts are pulled by 2 oxen. I need to know, what are their names?
I'm sorry that I do actually know this. I feel like that should have stumped me.
It should have. It was
They
designed
are-
to.
That's a good one. They're named Betty and Ivy. And the reason they're named Betty and Ivy is it's a oblique reference to the first page of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. In The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, there are 3 housekeepers in the house, Betty and Ivy and someone else. And C.S. Lewis says, but they don't come into the story much. And I say the oxen are named Betty and Ivy, but they don't come into the story much. It was a little
Wow.
I get it.
tip of the hat.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Awesome. Mm.
Well, thanks to that bonus about the middle finger. Izzy does have a slight lead right now, but what do we have?
Wait, I was trying to be
Don't
nice.
worry. We have a bonus question, sort of
Right.
a tiebreaker type bonus question. So Stacey will take
All
it
right.
away.
Finish this quote. To find the brightest wisdom, one must pass through the darkest zones. And through the darkest zones, there can be no guide. No guide, that is, but
Who is this for?
either one. Izzy, do you know?
I do not.
Courage.
Yes.
That's it.
Makes it a tie.
Whoa!
Yeah. Appropriately.
Woo!
That's
Pull it
awesome.
out at
Super
the end
fan
there.
and super author. You guys did awesome.
Really good.
Toe.
Really.
Yeah, I think we could keep going and it would just remain a tie. Do another 10 questions.
Into infinity.
Author fan face up. You will know more. Author fan face up. Question